Good morning, everybody. I'm going to do phonics with you this week. So we're going to start with our speedy sounds. So I want your magnet eyes on the wall, magnet eyes on the ceiling, magnet eyes on the floor, and magnet eyes on the speedy cards. Let's go. It also makes well done. Well done, you're doing really well. Back to the beginning. You did amazing. Give yourself a pat on the back. 1, 2, 3. Well done, me. So Fred is going to jump over. Whoop, and he's going to help us read the green words. So remember, Fred says the sounds and we help him blend those words together. Well done. Soft. That was good, wasn't it, Fred? He said well done. Swim. Flat. Perfect. Plan. You are amazing, boys and girls. Glad. Clan. Now, the words are going to get a little bit longer. Don't panic. Be a tritops. Seven. Well done for being a tritops. Don't worry if you didn't get it because we're going to go over these green words all week. So we've got a special friend in this word. Bucket. Another special friend. Rabbit. Well done. Again, these are really tricky words and you're being a tritop, so don't worry if you haven't got it. Rocket. Well done. How did they do, Fred? He said, give yourself a whoosh. Whoosh. Well done. Now we're going to do some alien words. So can you all put your aliens on, please? Bloop, 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 bloop. Let's go. Wint. Ooh, what a load of nonsense. Do this one. Sorry, my fingers are getting in the way. Zimp. What a load of nonsense. Plitch. What a load of nonsense. Oh, they get weirder every word. Thamp. What a load of nonsense. Last one. Sitch. think you can take those aliens off now. Bloop, bloop. Well done, boys and girls. Okay, we are going to do some red words. So you have learned 10 plus 1. Well done, 11. You've learned 11 red words so far. That is amazing. But we're not going to learn any new ones this week because we just need to catch up on keeping those red words in our head before we learn any new ones. So let's remind ourselves of all those red words you have learned. Well done. 2. Nice and easy one. I. The. Was. My. Be. Now you learnt this one last week. Can you remember it? You're right. Want. This one. You. Of. Said. You learnt this one last week as well. Your. Well done. I am so impressed. I think you deserve a nice big marshmallow clap. Lots of lovely learning happening today. Okay, so we are going to write a sentence and then I'll read you a story. A nice little treat for phonics today. So we're going to write this sentence. 6 men on a ship. My turn. 6 men on a ship. Can you say it? How many words are in that sentence? So we've got 6 men on a ship. So we've got 5 words in our sentence. So before we stamp out the words, I'm going to do the lines to help us to remember to use our finger spaces. So we've got 5. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now we are going to clap those words, okay? My turn first. 6 men on a ship. Your turn. Excellent. Now we're going to tap our head. 6 men on a ship. Your turn. Excellent. Now we're going to stamp it out. My turn. 6 men on a ship. Your turn. Well done. And the sentence is 6 men on a ship. Now, at the start of our sentence, we use a capital letter. Well done. And between our words, we use finger spaces. And at the end of our sentence, we use a hiya. Well done. A full stop. So the first word is 6. 6. Tell me the sounds. Excellent. So I've got a capital. It's just the same, but a little bit bigger. 6. 6. And the second word was men. Well done. Men. Tell me the sounds. Well done. There were 3 sounds. Men. 6 men. What was the third word? On. Tell me the sounds. Excellent. O. 6 men on a. So A is just an A on its own. Round the apple. Down the leaf. On a ship. Tell me the sounds. Spot on. There are 3 sounds. And the first sound is a special friend. Shh. So slithered down the snake and gone down the horse's body. And then, well done. And at the end we're going to do a hiya. And remember, we only like small ones, just like that, to show that our sentence is finished. We don't like these ones. Oh, it's too big and squibbly. Well done if you wrote that sentence with me. Give yourself another pat on the back. 1, 2, 3. Well done me. Now, tomorrow we are going to read another red ditty. So before that, I thought I'll read you a story linked to it. So tomorrow it's about playing a game with your dad. And this story I've chosen for you is Mr. Large in Charge. Mrs. Large opened one eye and peered out at the morning. She forced open the other eye, dragged herself out of bed and set off downstairs to the kitchen, where Mr. Large had kindly started the children on their breakfast. "Oh, you look ghastly, dear," said Mr. Large. "Don't say that to Mummy," said Laura. "Mummy looks beautiful," exclaimed Lester. "Beautiful, Mummy," coo-cooed the baby. "Yes, of course Mummy's beautiful," said Mr. Large. "I meant she doesn't look well. Are you feeling all right, dear?" "As a matter of fact, I don't feel too good," admitted Mrs. Large. "But I was going to take them all to the park later on. Then there's the shopping and the lunch, and then there's..." "Well, you don't have to worry about any of that," said Mr. Large. "It's the weekend, so I'm in charge. Go on, back to bed with you. We'll take care of everything, won't we, kids?" "You bet," yelled Lester. Mrs. Large trudged back upstairs, clutching a nice hot water bottle, and sank back into the bed, which was still warm. "Oh, what a treat," she said. Downstairs, Mr. Large was organising his troops. "Right, men," he commanded. "We're not all men," said Laura. "Oh, I know. You know what I mean," said Mr. Large. "Well, troops, then, all right? I'll take the worst task. That's the washing up. Lester, you can tackle the hoovering. Luke, picking things up off the floor. Laura and the baby, general dusting and cushion plumping. Quick, march! 1, 2, 1, 2. Off you go." Mr. Large turned on the radio, found a jolly tune to cheer everyone along, and soon they were all busy with their tasks. Upstairs, Mrs. Large was jolted back from the brink of sleep by the astonishing amount of noise blasting up through the floorboards. She listened anxiously for a while, but could soon tell they were mostly happy noises, so she wedged a pillow round her ears and decided to ignore it. Mrs. Large had just drifted off to sleep when she was rudely awakened by the baby, who was giving her a thorough dusting. "Sorry, Mum," yelled Laura, rushing in and grabbing the baby. The baby began to scream and hung on to the bedclothes so that both fell backwards. "This isn't proving very restful, Laura," said Mrs. Large crossly as Laura disentangled herself and the baby and attempted to bundle the bedclothes back onto the bed. "Mummy, Huggy!" screamed the baby. "Want Mummy big Huggy now?" Laura stuffed the baby under one arm and wrestled her out of the door. "Don't worry, Mum," she called as she closed the door behind them. "I'll take her down to Dad." Don't want Dad, I want my Mummy." Mrs. Large rearranged the mangled bedclothes and snuggled down, feeling jangled. Suddenly there was an almighty crunch from downstairs and the hoover stopped abruptly. The bedroom door opened and Lester looked in. "It's all right, Mum," he reassured her. "Nothing's broken. It just sounds bad." Luke's head appeared round Lester's knees. "That's right, Mum," he agreed. "Nothing to worry about. You just go back to sleep. Everything's under control." Mrs. Large was finally dropping off when Mr. Large crashed open the bedroom door. "We're all off to the park now, dear," he announced. We'll get the shopping on the way home, then we can bring you up a nice lunch. Oh, thank you, dear, said Mrs. Large. I'm having a lovely rest. Mr. Large beamed and blew his wife a kiss, mwah, as he backed out of the room, closing the door very quietly. At last, Mrs. Large dozed off. What seemed like 5 minutes later, she was woken up by a smell of burning. Just then, Laura put her head round the door. Dad says not to worry about the smell, she said. He's getting the lunch and he wants to know if you'd like some. What exactly is it? Asked Mrs. Large nervously. Well, it was something in a special sauce, but Dad just had a little look at the football on the TV. Well, it was quite a long look, actually. So now it's a cheese sandwich. I think I'll carry on sleeping. Thank you, dear, said Mrs. Large. Perhaps I could join in at tea time. Righto, said Laura, slamming the door as she rushed off to tell Dad. Mrs. Large closed her eyes and tried to relax. What seemed like 3 seconds later, the door crashed open again and all the children came charging in. We're going to play football with Dad, yelled Lester. In the garden, said Luke. Now, said the baby. Are you feeling a bit better? Asked Laura. Mummy better, big huggy, asked the baby. A bit better. You go and have fun with Daddy and perhaps I'll be all right later on. Big huggy, wept the baby as Lester scooped her up and carried her out. Big huggy now. Don't worry, Mum, said Laura. She loves football once she gets going. The door slammed shut for the 100th time. Mrs. Large winced and slithered down under the covers. Joyful sounds coming drifted in from the garden, and Mrs. Large smiled contentedly. 5 minutes later, Lester burst into the bedroom. Dad says, where are the bandages? Oh, don't worry, Mum. It's not the baby. Dad tripped over the rake. They're on top of the bathroom cabinet, said Mrs. Large weakly. After a while, the door opened again and Mr. Large came in carrying a tray with tea and cakes. The children sneaked in behind him and lurked. The baby didn't lurk for long. She climbed grimly onto the bed and collapsed her mother round the neck. Big huggy! Everyone out, ordered Mr. Large. Let Mummy have her rest now. She's not well today. Mrs. Large heaved herself into a sitting position and patted the covers. That's all right, dear, she said. I've had a very restful day and I'm feeling much better now. Why don't you all join me for tea? Well, if you're sure, said Mr. Large, and everyone piled onto the bed to tell Mrs. Large all about the day she had missed. And that's the end. Okay. Bye.